Chapter 3, Section 5, Ratifying the Constitution. The proposed Constitution included a provision for ratification. To go into effect, the plan of government would need to be approved by 9 out of the 13 states. Ratification would take place at state conventions, but it was by no means assured. Many Americans were concerned that the Constitution gave too much power to the national government. As a result, supporters of the Constitution would have to work hard to win its ratification. Federalists and Anti-Federalists. The people who supported the Constitution called themselves Federalists. They favored a federal government, a strong central government that shared powers with the states. Those who preferred a loose association of states with a weaker central government were called Anti-Federalists. The battle between Federalists and Anti-Federalists would be played out in the press, in state legislatures, and at the state ratifying conventions. Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, and John Jay led the Federalist campaign. Using the pen name Publius, they wrote a series of 85 essays designed to win support for the Constitution. These essays, known as the Federalist Papers, were published over the course of several months and made a strong case for the new plan of government. Some historians have called their publication one of the most powerful public relation campaigns in history. In the Federalist Papers, Hamilton, Madison, and Jay provided detailed explanations of key parts of the Constitution. On the issue of central powers, for example, Madison explained how the system of checks and balances would ensure that no one branch of government would have control over the other two. He also explained why such a system was needed. If men were angels, no government would be necessary. If angels were to govern men, neither external nor internal controls on government would be necessary. In framing a government which is to be administered by men over men, the greater difficulty lies in this. You must first enable the government to control the governed, and in the next place, oblige it to control itself. James Madison, The Federalist, number 51, 1788. Because the Federalist Papers explain the purpose of the Constitution, people who read these essays today can gain insight into the intentions of the Constitution's original drafters. The call for a Bill of Rights. By January 1788, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey had ratified the Constitution. Georgia and Connecticut soon followed, but a bitter debate in Massachusetts brought to the forefront a major anti-Federalist concern about the Constitution, the lack of a Bill of Rights. Anti-Federalists in Massachusetts complained that the Constitution did not adequately protect individual rights and freedoms against encroachment by the national government. They argued that it should be altered to include such rights as the freedom of speech, religion, and the press. They also wanted guarantees that every citizen would have the rights as the right to trial by jury and protection against unreasonable seizure of property. The lack of such guarantees became a sticking point in many states as the ratification process wore on. After much debate, Massachusetts agreed to ratify if amendments were added after ratification to protect fundamental rights. A number of other states ratified the Constitution with the same understanding. By the summer of 1788, all but 2 states had ratified. North Carolina joined the new Union in 1789, and Rhode Island in 1790. With James Madison leading the way, the first Congress of the new government framed the proposed amendments. Madison himself believed that individual rights were already protected by the Constitution, making the amendments unnecessary. However, his friend Thomas Jefferson helped change his mind. Jefferson wrote from France that a Bill of Rights is what the people are entitled to against every government on earth, general or particular, and what no government should refuse. He argued that the great strength of such a Bill of Rights was the legal check which it puts into the hands of the judiciary. On December 15, 1791, enough states had ratified 10 amendments to make them part of the Constitution. These 10 amendments are known collectively as the Bill of Rights. Over the course of the nation's history, 17 more amendments have been added to the Constitution. Today, the Constitution is the oldest written framework of national government in use anywhere in the world, forged over the course of a few months in the summers of 1787. The Constitution of the United States has more than stood the test of time.